vitality and wellness, you'll get the information you need about the issues that you face every day. Call us with your questions at 918-856-3873, and we'll answer them live, real time, right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and live streaming worldwide at KBOB899.com. Now, let's welcome your host for the next hour.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Teresa Williams. I am the clinical director at the Family and Children's Services location, 240 East Apache. And Bobby Eaton, thank you so much for having me here this afternoon. I have a guest that I think this is worth the talk. This is worth all the information. I am a little bit biased because it is my husband. So just a tad bit. Carlos Williams, attorney at law. Before we jump into the topic, again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. But Carlos Williams.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Alia.
Yes, we're so glad to have you here. Can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so here in Tulsa. I'm originally from Little Rock, Arkansas. Came up in 2000. Been practicing here in Oklahoma for 26 years now.
Wow.
As of, I guess, a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
So here, and I guess I got to claim Oklahoma now since I've been here long
yes.
enough. They keep saying that. So here in Oklahoma, I have a law office of Carlos Williams and Associates. We do mostly criminal defense, immigration law, a combination what we call crimigration, and then we do personal injury as well. So just a full service kind of firm. Don't do divorces anymore. I started off when I first moved to Oklahoma. I worked with legal aid services, and so that's all we did was divorces and custody all day, every day. But right now, the only divorces we do is that I do mediation. I am a licensed mediator.
A lot of people ask me, where can I go get my divorce papers? I'm like, okay. You know, I don't know. You just got to go over here and go over there.
Yes.
We're working on bringing in a new lawyer to do family law. So, but right now I'm a mediator and we do mediation. Try to put when couples are getting in the process of a divorce, Tulsa County requires mediation at a point. And so I'm a licensed mediator. We try to help them come to an agreement. If we come to an agreement, they can save a lot of money. And they can get that agreement is binding, and we can get it in front of a judge and get it taken care of. So,
all right, that's excellent information. So again, so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us. So the topic today is justice across systems, alternative courts and immigration law explained. So I've been here before where I've had some guests and we talked about alternative courts from the mental health perspective. As many know, Family and Children's Services have a program that works with the drug court, mental health court, misdemeanor court. And so you come from a legal perspective in terms of the alternative courts. So I would love to talk about alternative courts the first half hour, and then the second half hour talk about immigration law.
Sure.
So, Carlos, first of all, when you think of the alternative courts, for the listeners who may not know, you know, what is an alternative court or problem-solving court like drug court, mental health court? What comes to mind from your legal lens?
Okay, so a lot of times on these type of alternative courts, what happens is someone is facing some significant prison time. A lot of times. And so most of these courts are designed around felonies. That means in Tulsa County, in most counties, this has to be a nonviolent felony. So that means that if you've got a violent felony, they won't consider you for these courts. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's the policy. And let me rewind that a little bit. So to get into these courts, you can apply, but you have to have certain sign-offs in order to get approved for these courts. So one, you or your lawyer need to recognize that you may qualify for these courts. Okay. And then second of all, you've got, once you have to do a formal application to each court. So we got an application for DUI court. We got an application for mental health court. In these applications, for example, in mental health court, we've got to send in diagnosis. They ask for, hey, have you ever been in a mental hospital? Do you have a mental health diagnosis? Where have you gotten that mental health? Where have you gotten treatment for? All these different things in the application. And then once you submit that application, then it's set for a initial hearing or decision. And in that decision, the prosecutor's office has to sign off on it. And that becomes a little problematic because a lot of people who I think should be and need the treatment, the prosecutor's office may decline them. And I can argue in front of the judge, which I have numerous times, hey, this person deserves a chance in an alternative court versus going straight to prison. Sure. And the prosecutor will say, for example, one thing is a gun charge is involved, a nonviolent gun charge. And this person, for example, I've had one where in Oklahoma, and I'll go back in a little criminal law. In Oklahoma, and I want people to listen to this carefully. In Oklahoma, if you're a juvenile, we have a whole separate juvenile system in the law. And in the juvenile system, when you become 18, you can have most of that record cleaned up and nobody knows about it. However, if you had a felony charge as a juvenile, when you become an adult for 10 years, you can't carry a firearm in Oklahoma. Wow. A lot of the kids, and they were kids back then, 15, 16, didn't know the law. So they're 20 some years old now, and they're around a gun. Don't have to be yours, in the car, in your house. And they can and do file a felony AFCF gun charge against you. And then the state of Oklahoma and the prosecutor's office here in Tulsa County a lot of times will say, well, we can't consider you for an alternative program because we don't allow gun charges into the program.
So you can actually be around a gun and not even know it, that you're around the gun.
Yes.
And the police department can detect, oh, here's a gun inside this house. Here is a gun inside this car up under the seat, you know, and then actually you can get a case behind that.
Yes,
correct?
if
you're a felon.
If you're a felon. I've
heard of that. I've heard of that happening several times in our community. That you know, guys have gotten together and one guy got a gun and the next guy, you know, didn't know it and gets stopped for a tail light out in the back of his car. And next thing you know, both of them are going to jail.
Right. It happens.
And he's going back to jail.
Oh, goodness.
And he may have an issue that would qualify him otherwise for one of these alternative programs.
And he was in the program.
Okay.
You know, this guy was in a program, you know, working his way back into society. And he was in a program and he got, that happened.
Goodness.
You know, it's sad, but, you know, it happened.
Yes.
So, you have to get the approval of the prosecutor's office to get into any of these programs we're going to talk about on the alternative programs.
Okay.
And then once we can try to convince the prosecutor to get on board, then we enter into an agreement. You have to negotiate an agreement. An agreement usually is what we call an Exhibit A, is part of the agreement.
Okay.
And Exhibit A says this, basically. It says, okay, we're going to let you into the alternative court program with this stipulation. If you succeed, we're going to more likely than not, we'll dismiss this case. You'll have a clean felony record. You'll have all these really good things. We'll suspend your costs. We'll do all these good things if you succeed in the program. And then there's part B that says, if you fail the program, you're going to go to jail or prison for this amount of time. It's pretty clean cut.
Sure.
What's going to happen to you. And then after that, then you enter into the program, these different programs. That's the pre-setting to all of the what we're getting ready to talk about.
That's excellent information because I'm through a mental health lens. Many years I've worked with the drug court, mental health court, alternative courts program, actually most of my career. And from a mental health perspective, it's been an amazing journey to work with the alternative courts because it's given an individual an option in lieu of incarceration, in lieu of jail. There is therapy. And so you have the option of having a therapeutic modality and pathway versus incarceration. So I've always been pro alternative courts. To get the information from a legal perspective is great because I never really understood like what that looks like for an individual leading up to being accepted into alternative court. Sure. So thank you for sharing and explaining that.
Another thing that really used to bother me with, especially in this community, I would apply someone into an alternative program. The prosecutor would say to me, well, we can't accept him because he's on a gang list.
Oh,
I'm like, a gang list.
So they classify him as a gang member?
Yeah.
So a Crips or a blood list, that's what they have?
I said, well, let me see.
They have a Crips or, really?
Yeah, I said, let me see this list.
I never heard of anything of that stature, so I can be on a gang list.
Yes.
Blue or red or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And they say, well, we can't accept him. I remember getting upset and arguing that point, and the judge was like, well, the prosecutor, we've got to, if he's on the gang list, this mysterious gang list that they don't provide to you, just the list, then they will not consider them for any of the alternatives.
Anybody's name could be on that list.
That's what I said. Well,
anybody's name, right? Yeah, right. You putting Bobby Eaton on that list,
right?
Okay.
But yeah, just want that out there as well.
Okay. All right. Well, then that kind of leads into something else because like I would like to know what are the differences or what is different from the traditional criminal court system versus the alternative court system.
So on the alternative court programs, we're looking to negotiate and get some help, assistance from our clients.
Okay.
So the attorney's job is to first go through and see if there's a in-time wreck in the case where they're saying, okay, this guy's going, we're offering 5 in, and we're offering 10 in, and it's on a nonviolent crime. Mm-hmm. Maybe this person you can tell that this person, I'll pull up the Oshkon, and that's the OSCN reports, and I'll see, man, he's got a looks like he may have a drinking problem. He's got a DUI from 2021, a DUI from 2025, 26. Mm-hmm. You can kind of see these different things, and you're like, I wonder, instead of you just want to lock up my guy, what if we look into maybe getting him some help that he probably could have gotten 2 years ago before you locked him up the second time? Maybe if we can get this guy some assistance, maybe through mental health court or through drug court or some of these different things, that you could actually help him so that he won't fall into, going to prison or this pattern.
Right.
So that's
right.
That's we the attorney's job is to kind of look into that and then get that application in and see, and then it hands over kind of to y'all to see, whether or not you all think you can assist them as well. So,
oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Goodness. That's a great explanation between the two different types of courts.
Yeah. And like I said, they have a punishment part on the alternative courts, but they're not really trying to go there. I talked to you and told you that they have that if you mess up in the program and you fail the program, then you go to prison. But and I think you're familiar with this.
I'm very familiar with the process.
They don't want you to go there.
Not at all.
They're going to give you chances. They know that this isn't a straight line.
Not at all.
You've got different, ways to get there, but they're there. I think y'all are there to help those people, help them get to where they need to get to.
Ultimately. Yeah. Again, from my experience, and that's why I firmly believe in the alternative courts, because I've seen the progress that individuals have made from And oftentimes when individuals sign up for alternative courts, they're not necessarily ready. It's this pre-contemplation stage of change. I don't know, I got arrested. I don't want to go to prison. So I guess this is the better option. And I get to see, and I'm sure you also get to see the change that occurs in an individual's life over time. Now it takes, who knows, it could take up to 3 years or more. Recovery is a difficult process. It's not an overnight easy process. And I've talked about this before, being here on Bobby Eaton's show. So to give again another lens through the legal lens of what that looks like, I tell you, the alternative courts give multiple chances. There's incentives, there's sanctions, all the things that's involved with that.
Yeah, I have this story I tell to some of my clients when they, especially the DUI court, when they're considering a DUI court. I tell this story. It's probably been it probably was pre-COVID. I had a guy, older guy, young, older brother, he came through, and I anticipated probably every time I talked to him, he probably was under the influence. And when I pulled up his Oshkosh, he probably had convictions from DUIs and cases like that, probably all the way back from early 90s, something like that. But he was headed to prison. The DA was like, no, he needs to go in. I'm like, well, no. I looked at his records, like nobody ever gave him any help. Nobody ever reached out to him. And so I applied him into the program, and I said to him, I said, listen, I said, they're trying to put you in prison. I'm trying to see if we can get you some help. I said, but it isn't going to do you any good if you not going to do anything with it. And he says to me, he says, Mr. Williams, he says, you keep me out of prison and I'll do what I need to do. I said, all right, I'll take your word on that. He got into the program. I hadn't heard from him in probably a year. I'm pumping gas at Quick Trip one day. I look over, this guy comes up to me. He says, Mr. Williams, how you doing? I say, I'm doing good. I mean, he's just clean as a whistle. You can tell he's got a whole new attitude on life. Wow. He says, hey, I'm getting ready to graduate in about, 2 months. And he sure did. He graduated, got everything taken care of. And so I tell that story because he had his mind right.
Yes.
And he was ready to do what he needed to do to handle his business. And that's what these alternative programs, a lot of them, it's not easy, but they get it done. And I love to see that. And we'll talk about the graduations and all that as well too.
But it's worth it. It's worth it. And to see, and I'll just say that's always been, I think, the blessing working with the courts programs, the alternative courts, is to see that change. Like it is like no other. It's true transformation. And the things and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. The different phases that individuals have to attend in addition to their therapy and their court appearances and employment, the list goes on. But again, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. So moving on, Carlos, what problems are these courts trying to solve that traditional courts struggle with? Like, is there a defined difference between the traditional courts versus alternative courts, or do you feel like you've already touched on?
Yeah, kind of like we'd said that. So the alternative programs provide the treatment, be it mental health court, and that's, I guess we haven't really specifically talked about all the different. I don't know if you want to go there. So in Tulsa County and some of the surrounding counties as well. I practice all over eastern Oklahoma. Okay. So I know in Rogers, they have some alternative court programs up in the Claremore area. They have some alternative court programs in Indian Nation. We have different programs in Creek Nation, Cherokee Nation. I practice in both. I'm a tribal attorney in Creek Nation and Cherokee Nation. So they have different programs set up there. But specifically for Tulsa County, we have the mental health court. And you tell me if I leave any of them out. Mental health court, the DUI court, the drug court program. Then we have a women in recovery program set up here. as well. Those are the main ones I think that we have. Then we have the Arise program as well. And the Arise program is when we have the Rise, and then we have another program, and I can't think of the name of it right now, for men as well.
Okay.
But they're all, the Rise and this other program are set up for men only that are facing incarceration.
Okay. The only ones I can think of also, I know there's a veterans court, and
That's
then
true.
there's
Veterans
a
court.
misdemeanor. Court.
Misdemeanor diversion program.
Yes.
That I really like that one. A lot of people don't know about that one because that's one of the newer programs.
Okay.
I really like misdemeanor diversion. And so to qualify for misdemeanor diversion, it's different than what we talked about for the other alternative courts. Misdemeanor diversion, they really don't want you to have any criminal history or any significant felony criminal history.
Okay.
And on the misdemeanor diversion program, they want you to have a non-violent misdemeanor. Okay. So basically, the only way to keep you out of the misdemeanor diversion is if you have a DUI. They won't do the MDP program.
Okay.
If you have a violent misdemeanor, but they'll do an assault and battery, which is interesting.
Okay.
You get in on assault and battery, you can't get in on a domestic assault and battery.
Huh.
Okay. So that's where they draw the line. But the good thing about this program, the MDP program, is this. It's under Judge Horton. Once you get into the MDP program, they provide a provider will reach out. Sometimes family and children's services. A lot of the times it'll be the provider. Sometimes it's some other ones they rotate in. You'll get assigned automatically a counseling agency.
Okay.
And then what'll happen is you will plea into the program. Okay.
Okay.
And we have a pre-plea and then a regular plea. It just depends on what we're trying to aim to.
Okay.
But if you succeed, a lot of times you don't have to go to court. You just have to engage in therapy.
Oh, okay.
With your counseling. So you go to that first court and the judge will tell you, hey, long as you reach out and do what you're supposed to do, you don't have to come to all these courts.
Okay.
But if you don't, then you're going to have to come to each one of these. He gets a report, I guess, every week or so that says whether or not you're engaging or not.
I see.
And then if you're engaging in everything, then he keeps pushing that date out, and then you'll graduate. It's a shorter graduation. I think it's like 9 months, if that long.
Okay.
It's providing services to my clients.
Sure.
That is really good for
Yes.
free.
Oh,
For free. They don't
Okay.
have to pay anything out of pocket for these services,
Very nice.
which I like.
Yes.
And here's the catch-all that I really love and I push MDP for.
Okay.
At the end and conclusion of your graduation from the MDP program, your misdemeanor charges are not only dismissed in full, the judge then wipes away all of your fines and costs.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot.
So you walk out of there graduating with a zero balance to nobody.
My goodness.
Just a zero balance, huh?
Zero balance. You get your certificate and judge.
Man, you got to be happy about that.
Right.
You know, you got to be jumping up and down and hollering, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
You know.
A clean slate.
clean
You get to
slate.
just
You know, I think a lot of people who've been institutionalized, been incarcerated, they don't know of these programs,
No.
And
man.
don't.
They just don't know that they can clean themselves up by going through these programs for several months to a year or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
And they just don't have the information. They get
Right.
released out of jail. They go back home to the hood, you know, and they're
Yeah.
back in the same environment. And they're trying to, for the first few weeks, they staying in the house and staying around and trying to figure it all out
Yes. On their own.
on their own, trying to figure it all
Figure it
out.
Mm.
Okay, now I know I got to get a job somewhere, you know, okay. But man, who gonna hire a felon?
Right. Right.
You know, nobody don't hire felons.
Mm.
So let me go on down to the corner store right quick, grab me a pop and some chips,
Mm.
go down there. Pookie, what up, man? JoJo, hey man, I heard you just got out.
Yeah.
You know, so and so and so. Why don't you come on, make this with me?
Mm.
Gonna team up here. you know, and let's go do it.
Yeah.
And they go right back to the same behavior.
Yes. Because they don't know anything different.
They don't know anything different.
No.
They're not being taught anything because they don't know. Reason I know this, because I used to be out in the hood, you know, and they don't know where to go, who to talk to, and trust is an issue.
Yes, absolutely.
Trust is a big issue.
Yes, it is.
You know, I don't know about trusting this guy.
Uh-huh.
This guy's talking like this is good stuff, but is this real? What's gonna happen?
Right. Exactly.
If I get enrolled in this, they gonna stick me back in. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
So
good
we
points,
have to
Bob.
convince. We have to convince our youth and young people and old people too that, you know, once you get released and you're back out here, to go seek these programs.
Exactly.
Go to these programs, family and children's services. Go to the attorneys. Talk to them.
Yes.
You'll get in-depth information.
Yes.
So you can know what to do. You know, an attorney will mentor you. He'll tell you what you need to do. He'll say, hey, man, you need to go down here and blah, blah, blah. You got all these fines and stuff. But go through this program and they're going to be able to throw all that several $1,000s away.
Yes. Yes. Which is a great point. Like, Carlos, how do people know about the programs? I mean, I know you do a great job of offering up, hey, there's alternative course as an option. But what about just across the board? How do people know about the program?
So they put them out there, but they don't put the money to advertise them. They don't.
The marketing and sales is not there.
Yeah, it's not. It's lawyers that don't know about the program.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it is. It's just, so you get somebody and they're like,
you guys don't have an alliance, do you?
No, not really. I mean, we have
like a community alliance.
We have like the Tulsa County Bar Association.
Well, a bar association is one thing.
But that's it's not.
That's one thing. But I'm talking about an alliance of good African American attorneys coming together. You know, and saying, "Hey, man, this is what we all need to be one accord on."
We did years ago.
You did?
Yeah, we did years ago on I'd say before COVID, we had something like that. It wasn't never really solid, but we did have some.
Never, because I know several African American attorneys.
Sure.
You know, I know a bunch. You know, and I'm like, everybody's kind of like working their own individual stuff. You know,
and we see each other in the court. The criminal lawyers, we all kind of hang.
Y'all see each other in the courtroom,
right? But we don't. It's a lot of us outside of that we don't really know.
Goodness. Because you're right, Bobby. Listen, it's a need to, like you were saying, like an alliance, because you can exchange information and get the information out there. It's not marketed in the way that, hey, these alternative courts exist. How do people know about the program?
Yeah, because you guys could have forums and stuff like that. 36 Event Center forums, Big 10 Ballroom, go over there, Greenwood Cultural Center, and have forums where people could come and hear this information and know what to do.
Right.
Felons could come up in there, you know, and find out.
You know what'd be interesting? I'm going to just say this out loud.
Say it.
We've got prosecutorial. We got a Tulsa County prosecutor, and we've got an election coming up, and there's 2 people running for prosecutor. Now, what did I just say earlier? Prosecutor is a big part of these alternative programs.
Exactly.
It sure would be nice for them in their budget to go out here and say, hey, we got all these alternative programs, instead of saying I'm tough on crime, I gotta lock everybody up.
We going to lock you up.
We're going to lock you up. We got to be tough on crime. How about we get out here and talk about some of these alternatives in the community to putting folks behind bars automatically and getting them some help so that they don't always end up in prison.
You know, guy go to prison for stealing some potato chips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's something light crimes. Yeah. You know, I knew a couple of guys locked up in jail. They could have got out of it if they had $150. But they can't get out. Can't bail themselves out. You know.
Goodness.
That's sad.
It's terrible.
Speaking of municipal court is another big court here in Tulsa.
Okay.
I do a lot of work out of municipal court, and I guess rewind that a little bit. Municipal court is city court.
Sure.
For folks who don't know, that's the court where the city of Tulsa prosecutes you. Okay. And the crimes in there are smaller. the maximum is about 6 months in jail you can do.
Okay.
And the biggest cases are usually DUIs, that type of thing, petty larceny, simple assault, those type of things.
Child support.
No, not in that one. Just these little small city tickets and that type of thing. But they are a money-making court. They make a lot of money.
Probably the most.
Generate, probably so if you got behind the numbers. Because here's the problem that we have there, and I'll talk about how we tied into alternative programs as well.
Okay.
So that municipal court on those smaller crimes, they've developed a few things. They've got an alternative program now.
Oh. Really?
And it's set up for folks mostly that are having issues in housing or facing homelessness, because a lot of the people in municipal court, they have these new trespass laws where we want to keep the homeless folks from being on the curb or being at the Quick Trip, that's the main one, or in the Walmart parking lot on the street. So now we got to go and arrest them. And when we arrest them, we put them in the city jail, and then we put them on and we give them fines and costs. And they can't pay fines and costs because the reason they're homeless a lot of times is they have a drug issue. They've got a mental health issue. They've got issues with housing.
Yes.
And so the program that they have at municipal now tries to address that through therapists. Before you can get into the program, you have to meet with one of the counselors.
Okay.
And the counselor then kind of does a quick intake on you to see if you could benefit from it. And then judge allows you into the program. It's very similar to the course you're familiar with.
Man, they don't even see. These people are out on the streets right now as we speak. They're on the streets, walking around, pushing baskets and buggies and their homes and stuff, have no idea of these programs. They don't even know nothing about it. So how can we as a community let them know about these programs? Because they don't know. Ain't nobody out there giving them no flyers and nothing like that. Hey, man, here you go. Here you go. Letting them know about it. So they don't know anything about it. So they just lay out at Quick Trip or lay out at McDonald's, outside, and they don't know.
The good part on the municipal team over there is that the public defender's office, I'm familiar with all of the attorneys over there. A lot of them have worked with me.
You talking about Coon Swallow and them?
No.
Okay,
I'm talking about the public defender for the city of Tulsa.
Public defender.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For the city of Tulsa.
Okay.
Probably half that staff have worked under me before.
Okay, I got you.
They're out there. They are pushing these programs. They're advocating. So when they come in contact with
the programs itself,
programs itself.
But what about the people? Is what I'm talking about.
Right. So I'm
talking about the people.
Right.
See, you can have all the brick and mortar and all that you want, but if you don't have communication with the actual people, Teresa, I got relationship with you.
Yes.
I just met your husband. Now I got a relationship with him.
Yes.
It's the people.
You're right.
It's connection with the people.
Yeah.
People with mental health, people who are homeless, people who just down on their luck are out here on these streets.
Yes.
And they need to be addressed.
You're right.
They really need to be addressed. And sometimes we're fearful of these people. We don't know whether we go up to them if they're going to try to attack us. We don't like the way they smell. We don't want to shake their hands. We don't want to address them. Hey, man, how you doing? You know what I've gotten in the habit of doing?
What's that?
One thing that I've gotten in the habit of doing, if I go out to eat, and you know how they give us the doggy bag.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got some leftover salmon and leftover so-and-so. I'll just give it to a homeless person.
That's right.
That's
awesome.
I made that a habit.
Yes.
I see somebody going down the street, push, hey man, what's going on? He look over there at me here. And I just give it to him and I just head on.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to put it in your refrigerator and you ain't going to eat it again. So you're going to throw it away.
Yep.
So we have to develop those type of habits.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Of help, because that might be his only meal of the day.
Yes.
I gave a guy some ribs one day, and man, he had a fit. He was on a bicycle, you know what I mean? And he was all dirty and tattered. I said, man, come here. He came over to the car. I reached over there. I said, hey, man, I had about 3 or 4 leftover ribs in the thing and some potato salad and stuff. I said, here, man. He opened it up. He said, oh, man, God bless you. Yes. God bless you. And took it, and he went over to the little pack of people that was over there, and they was open. I sit and watched them.
My goodness.
And they opened the bag. I just kept on going. Yeah. See, sometimes we take things for granted.
You're right about it. You are right about it.
So we must connect with the people on the ground.
Yes.
I don't know how we're going to do it all.
You're right.
But it's the people on the ground we got to connect with. You know, we can sit in our big offices and our big radio stations and all of this kind of stuff. But until we get on the ground, level with them.
What is it? Boots on the ground?
Boots on the ground.
Yes.
Then we can create all of this other stuff that they don't know about.
You have an excellent point. Look, I'm constantly thinking, how do people know about family and children services out north?
Exactly.
That's why we do the outreach community events.
It's like we just did one.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, I took you guys around the whole community.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, y'all loaded all up in the van. And I said, hey, this is so-and-so. This is so-and-so. This is blah, blah. You know, knock on these doors. Watch this area right here.
Yeah.
So there's things that we can do, but we got to just do it.
And we got to figure out, you pose a good question. How? Because when you're talking about the alternative courts, if I didn't work with the programs, I wouldn't have known about
I'm just now knowing about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm saying, wow, that we got that.
Yes.
Accessibility to us.
Yes.
You know, in our community.
Yes.
That's great, man.
Yes.
Great, Attorney Williams. Yeah.
Also, there's a night court program. Municipal court.
It just keeps getting better.
Oh, here we go. Keep getting better.
Keeps getting better.
A lot of folks got to work. They got jobs to take care of. It's kind of that alternative program. You can get your case moved to a night court several times a month or once a month, and that way you can you don't have to worry about child care a lot of times and that type of thing set up to kind of help folks in that for simple tickets.
Wow.
That's great.
Gosh.
See, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, look at there. So sounds like there is a variety of alternative courts, and sound like you know what to do, right?
Yeah, it's just over the years and just getting that experience and trying to help folks. Just
start up a program, man. Start up a program and have all these programs up under the program, so accessibility, we can get this out. Run some commercials over here or something or anything. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Over here in other places and hand flyers and all of that, so these people will know.
Absolutely.
You know,
I love that.
If you got to go down to the jail cell and talk to the head man down there at David L. Moss and say, hey, man, give this to each person that's leaving. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Go, you know, you got a ride around crew. Hey, man, let's go down here to Archer down here and pass out all these flyers. Salvation Army, we're going to pass out all these flyers to all these people so they'll know
so they have
what's
the
going
information.
on. So they'll have the information.
Goodness. When you say information is power.
It is powerful in today's time, especially.
Absolutely.
2026.
Goodness.
With technology the way it is with AI and Meta and all of this stuff right now.
Absolutely.
You can't just almost start something without being able to use it.
Exactly. And one of the things, I don't know if you mentioned, Carlos, is that the alternative courts, this in lieu of incarceration.
Right.
And a felony, right? They don't have a felony at the end of completion of the alternative courts.
Oh man, I know a few people right now. Look, I'm gonna tell about it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell them about it.
Please, please, we have to share the information. We know the information. Let's share it.
one more tidbit.
Sure.
Since we're sharing this information, a lot of folks don't know about in municipal court. Let's say you, with or without a lawyer, you can use this tidbit. So a lot of folks right now listening, watching, you may have fines and costs in the city of Tulsa, and you've gotten behind. You may be in warrant status for some old tickets you got from speed, no seatbelt, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little game. There is a program called the Financial Empowerment Program.
What?
Set up in the city of Tulsa.
What? Come on,
You can go and give them a call, and they will teach you how to manage your money for free. But here's the catch. After you take some classes with them, they will start giving you credits monetarily off of your fines and costs.
Wow.
So you take an hour, you get $50 off your tickets. You take another hour, you get $100 off your ticket. You getting credits, money to go on your fines and costs. And I sit there, and a lot of judges don't tell everybody about the program. I call a lady in the hallway, the pro se. She wasn't my client, and she was getting hammered with some fines and costs. And I said, hey, before you walk out, let me holler at you for a second. And I stopped her and I talked to her, and I said, hey, did they tell you about this program that can help kind of defer some of your costs? You just calling. She said, no, I didn't know nothing about that. I said, here's my card, but here's the number. I went they had the flyer at the courthouse.
Okay.
I gave her the flyer. I said, call this number.
Wow.
And they'll help you out. But that's one of those, if she didn't know them, if I wasn't there, she wouldn't have known.
She would have never known.
Or if you're not listening to this program, a lot of folks won't know. Yeah.
Do you think that maybe all the courts is not aware of the different programs? Because you've listed many.
Yeah. Why come the courts don't display this information in the courtrooms and stuff? Why come they don't tell everybody?
Right. I don't know the answer.
Or is it really like because you're the attorney, so that is information that you are to share with individuals?
I don't see why it just would be gatekeeping among the attorneys. I mean, like I said, every attorney doesn't even know about all of these programs, but
sure,
it should be. I mean, the court should be advertising these programs more. I do know that city court will advertise night court and touch up on the financial empowerment, but I've never seen the state courts push the programs out like this.
You need to, man. There's so much marketing and sales about information that needs to go out in the world about these programs and things, man. Out of sight, out of mind.
That's it. Out of sight, out of mind. Goodness, Carlos, thank you. That's a lot of good information.
Oh man, you gave me something.
Yes, alternative courts. We haven't even touched on immigration yet, so we got a little bit of time, and we're gonna touch on immigration. So immigration is
that's a huge topic right there.
We need 10 hours for that. But we got about 15 minutes. We can do a little bit.
Get on in there. I'm gonna shut up and let y'all get it.
Hey, well, we'll see how this goes. So immigration law, and I know you are an expertise in this. Hearing the different stories that you've shared, it's heartbreaking. Let me just say the least. And I know a lot of people live in fear. We've had individuals that we have provided services to, and it's just a constant fear. I can't imagine every day you just living in fear of, will this be the day that I get picked up? So can you tell me a little bit about immigration law and what does that look like for you?
Sure. So we focus mostly on family immigration law. And that means that most of the time we focus on some people that have possible relief through relationships, family relationships.
Okay.
So that means you may have a child that was born here in the United States. You may have a husband or a spouse that was born here in the United States. And then we'll do an analysis to see whether or not you possibly have a path to documentation or possible citizenship later on. Those are the main things we do, but we also do other types of immigration such as DACA and visas and that type of thing as well. the process has really changed here in the last couple of years. It's changed in the last 6 years specifically. What has happened is that if you don't have documentation here in the United States and you have law enforcement interactions, you are at a high risk of being detained and put into jail and then another facility. So what happens nowadays, we used to have a bond process, just like everybody else had the right to a bond.
Yes.
You would have the right to a bond. You could argue to a judge, hey, judge, I've been here for 25, 30 years here in the United States. I've been working in Tulsa my entire life. I've been, a good citizen, a good person, never had any trouble with the law before. I got pulled over here, making a U-turn. Shame on me. I'm sorry, Judge. I shouldn't have made that U-turn. But other than that, I haven't been in any kind of trouble. I've been paying my taxes. I've been doing everything that you asked me to do. And I'm sorry for that U-turn mistake I made, Judge. But I've got U.S. citizen kids that are in school right now. I've got all these different things going on. And you could go to the judge and he'd be like, all right, I considering where you've been, I'm going to give you a bond and let you continue to stay out, and we'll have you check in periodically. Under the Trump administration, they have now said there is no bonds. So you get pulled over for no seatbelt, you get pulled over for a DUI, you get pulled over for that U-turn violation, and the officer says, do you have your driver's license? No, I don't have a driver's license. All right, then. Why don't you step out the car and you come with me, and they're gonna send you to David L. Moss. David L. Moss will then run your information through their system, and then they will put on you what's called an ICE hold.
Okay.
You will have that ICE hold. You will not be released. They will process your criminal case or whatever ticket you got. And then within 48 hours, immigration will then put you under their detain process. And nowadays you go out to Cushing, Oklahoma, and they put you in holding in Cushing, Oklahoma, in the facility out there. Or even worse, they'll put you out in Aurora, Colorado. That's our other facility. Or they'll put you down south of Dallas, Texas. Those are where you'll end up at.
Yes.
And you'll stay there until you have a chance to go in front of an immigration judge. And you can ask for a bond. They're not granting them hardly in any circumstances these days. And then you can do either voluntary removal, where if you're lucky, or you'll get a removal order from the judge telling you to stay out and don't come back for at least this amount of years. And if you come back and we catch you back to America, if you come back and we catch you, you're facing federal time next time. They do file charges of illegal reentry for federal time.
Goodness.
So that's how.
Are the borders secure? Or are they not secure? What are they?
I've been in immigration court before when I used to practice in removal, and you could have a guy, and this is in different administrations, different Republican and Democrat administrations. I had a guy when I first started, I'll never forget, he said, he was telling the judge, he wasn't my client. He says, judge says, when did you come into the United States? And he says, I came in July the 2nd. Okay. And he says, when were you detained? He says, I got detained. I was here a few days. I got detained July the 4th. And judge said, okay. And then when did you get back here? He says, July the 7th. I was like, man, okay. Wow. So that tells you that, the border was looser, and people have ways of getting back here even today. All of that
tunnels and all
that
stuff.
Tough on the border kind of information,
payola and all of that.
Yeah, it's a whole process that folks do, but the immigration process is broken. It's been broken. Good. And if folks could figure out, so one of the main laws that we still use for immigration law was under Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
Of all things, we use that for our benefit because we don't have any, the law under Reagan, the Immigration Administrative Act that we use, the Naturalization Acts that we use under the Reagan administration is what we got.
Wow.
Is what we have. And so this political thing about, well, we can't do this and we can't do that, and making immigrants the boogeyman is ridiculous. Yeah. And a lot of immigrants, we think of immigrants from Mexico, South America, and Latino immigrants. A lot of immigrants look like everybody at this table right now. A lot of immigrants
from all over the world.
From all over the world. I have Canadian clients right now. I have Italian, Colombians, English folks. Everybody's getting it, but some folks getting it worse than others right now.
Yeah, we do think Hispanic and stuff like that when it comes to that.
Right.
You know,
my Haitian brothers are getting it hard. I've got several folks that there was a process for Haitians specifically, parole program where they're really suffering down there, and so it was really a good program set up to benefit Haitians, where they could come over if they had financial assistance and somebody they knew people here in the United States, where they can get away from that and they could become productive members and help the communities that they would move into. That was eliminated. And now they're saying, all right, well, you had your papers, you don't have them no more. Get out, go back home.
So Carlos, you said something. I'm gonna kind of go back to something you said earlier. You mentioned DACA, visa. Like, what are the differences between those two?
Sure. So DACA was a program under the Obama administration.
Okay.
And that was, the DACA was set up to give young folks only. You had to be a specific age group. So you had to have come here as a kid, and you had to been in school and been basically raised up in the United States.
Okay.
And under a certain age, come in at a certain time and be up under a certain age. And the Obama administration said, let's do this. If you did all these things and no significant criminal history, not even a significant misdemeanor, and you did all these things, then we're going to give you a work permit where you can work, get your driver's license, pay your taxes, and do all these things in the community.
Okay.
We're not going to give you a green card. We're not going to give you citizenship.
Okay.
We're just going to let you work.
Okay.
And we're going to try to defer you, a deferred action. Okay. So that you won't get in that process of being removed.
Okay.
But DACA now, some recent rulings by the BIA and the immigration courts have watered that down. We got some DACAs now facing being deported.
Bless.
And
goodness.
So
and the visa?
So the visa, we got different visas.
Okay.
So there are visas, for example, a lot of folks don't know, there's a visa, a U visa.
Okay.
A U visa is set up for you being the victim of a violent crime. You don't have papers, but let's say you got robbed at gunpoint over here. That's one of the ways you can get. You can file if you filed a police report. And by the way, there's no statute of limitations.
Oh.
So this happened 10 years ago. You filed a police report on it, and you fall under one of these crimes, be it rape, incest, violent criminal case, that type of thing. Then you can file a petition with the law enforcement.
Okay.
And then if law enforcement signs off, you can then submit, it's called if law enforcement does a certification saying that we do have that report on hand, then you could submit your U visa and apply for that. And the U visa, if you get approved, will give you not only a work authorization, but it's a pathway to a green card.
Okay.
Problem is they cap it at like 10,000 or less a year. So the line is ridiculous. You looking at, I've got 2018s still in line.
Oh,
I called on one this week. And so they're still in line waiting. Yeah. They don't want to give too many of them. So
wow, man, that's incredible.
That is incredible for sure. Gosh. So what would you say? I don't want to leave on a note of, because it's fear driven.
Sure.
Let's just call it what it is.
Sure.
What would you say to individuals that's facing the possibility of immigration, or how would they reach out to you? Maybe that's a really packed question, but
Sure.
What would you say to an individual?
These days, you just have to be careful. If you can get, first of all, try to have limited law enforcement activity. That means that I have a lot of folks get caught up on DUIs, assault and batteries. You can't get law enforcement involved anymore with anything and not get detained. So you got to stay out of trouble on those things for those folks. All right. And then if some folks can get their driver's license, get your driver's license. Most of my folks know that have your insurance, because the less you can have going on, the likely the cop will let you go. Okay. If you've got your insurance, he stops you on a traffic ticket and you've got your insurance, you're not giving him a reason to do anything further.
Yeah, if you got your paperwork in order.
You got your paperwork, but if you don't,
gotta have that paperwork in. I tell people all the time, you have to have your paperwork in, or your registration, your insurance, your driver's license. Yeah. You got to have those down.
But that gets so many folks in
the that's
system.
what gets them in the system. Yeah, they don't have that. Officer, well, like you said, you got all that in order. He'll probably say, all right, have a good day. This is just a warning. Have a good day.
Yeah.
And you can drive on off because you got your paperwork in order.
Yes. And you mentioned driver license. So I know individuals get their license suspended. There's an option. Go through an ADSAC, we call it an ADSAC assessor, and they can assess and get your license reinstated. That's another opportunity. It's so many. You're right, Bob. We don't have enough time. It's just,
we ain't got enough time, and we just we could go on and on. But we need to get this information out there.
Absolutely.
Other than just the radio station. Here. We need to get flyers in people's hand where they can read stuff and where they can go and make phone calls. And
absolutely.
I don't know who's gonna do it.
Bobby.
I'm trying to do this.
Listen, no, but I know you have a lot.
It's a lot
that you're already doing in the community.
I'm trying.
You're doing it.
Thank you.
So look, we have ran out of time.
We figured
just like that. We knew it would. We knew it. A lot of good information. I so appreciate you.
Well, I thank y'all
for being here.
I really thank y'all for inviting me. I know Teresa was like, listen here, we don't need your oldest.
Thank you, man. You brought a wealth of information here to KBOB 89.9. And man, I learned some stuff by just sitting here in the seat listening to you.
Well, man, we enjoy being here and talking to y'all. It's always good to get the information out. And like you said, we did do even a better job getting it out there. But I'm glad we had this time to share what I knew.
And I just want to ask one last question, because I ask this every time. What's the call to action? What would you say the call to action to the community?
Sure. If you're in the process now, talk to your counsel, be it public defender or your attorney, even to the judge about, these programs. See if you would possibly qualify for one of these programs before you enter into any type of plea on that. If you bring it up or ask about it, then they'll be like, okay. You just asked about the MDP or this type of thing.
Sure.
They'll have to go down that road and at least see, if you qualify or if it's something that, that they can help you with. So,
absolutely.
Is there a way you could, for me, write out a list of these programs and give them to me. And I could have them and maybe research and get some phone numbers, make some phone calls, because I run into people all the time who are needing assistance. You know, they may come through that door right there. You know, I know a guy, I got a friend, he was incarcerated for 27 years, lockdown. Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to get back into society. There are a couple of programs called like Fitting Back In and some other programs, you know, that are around, but you know, we just need to know.
That's a great idea. A
yeah.
list of programs.
If you can just write down everything that you've talked about, you can just write them down there. Oh, it's this program for this program for that, and just give it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like great. Well, thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Friday, everyone. This is always a joy. Thank you, Bobby Eaton, for having us. I always enjoy this so much.
You start talking about them ribs he passed.
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
All right. Take care.
You've been listening to Family and Children's Services on KBOB 89.9 FM. We're here to bring you news and information about your mental and physical health to make a positive impact on your daily lives. The professionals you hear on this show have spoken freely and openly about various mental and physical health care experiences. Any medical or psychological advice should be taken as just advice. If you're currently experiencing any physical health issues, please consult your primary care physician immediately. For serious mental health issues,